Hey, this is Laurie Owen. I'm going to be talking about how to set your privacy settings in Facebook. First thing you want to do is you want to go to your own timeline, which means clicking on your name, and then click on Friends right here, and then find the little pen right up at the top of your Friends, right there, and hover over it. You'll see it says Manage, and click on that. And then click on Manage Sections. And this will go to a list of the sections that you can manage from this setting. Now, what I've found is that you cannot really change your about, your photos, or your friends. The ones that we're going to focus on now are the other ones. The events that you're going to, the places you've been to, the movies, the music, the sports, the TV shows, the books, the reviews, the apps and games that you use, your likes, your groups, Pinterest, Spotify, YouTube, things like that. What you can do if you do not want these to be seen, and it's a double-edged sword, you know, the whole thing of setting your privacy is a double-edged sword. As someone said to me, the problem with setting your privacy settings too tight is that people can no longer see what you're about. And part of the value in being online as a marketer is that you have a chance to leverage your friendships. Well, I'm going in the opposite direction right now, mainly because, I'm sorry, you want to uncheck it to hide them. So I'm going to uncheck all of these because really, they can see what kind of music I like. And the sports. Not even sports. That gives a little too much a clue of where I am. I'm just going to unclick all of these. And the main reason is that at this point, that with so many people experiencing hacking and being attacked by scammers of various kinds, both Facebook hacking and receiving messages that have links in them that can hack your hard drive. I just think it's probably a good time in the life of being on Facebook to err on the side of hiding things. So now we can go back to Friends, and we can also manage editing our privacy. Right now I have who can see my friend list set to only me. Who can see who I follow? Only me. And my followers? Only me. For the same reason, it has the disadvantage of hiding the people that I'm influenced by and who I'm friends with, that other people who are looking at me as potential affiliates and people to associate with, they're going to make their decision partly on who you associate with. That is an unfortunate side effect of this approach that I'm taking right now. Next thing we can click on are timeline settings. And we can decide who can add things to my timeline. Now, I like the idea of letting my friends add things to my timeline. I may change that in time but I can, if someone puts something on my timeline that I don't like, I can always take it off or hide it or delete it. I do have this one. This is a really important one. This is review posts friends tag you in before they appear on your timeline. I have that enabled, and that's really important because occasionally someone will tag me and I will want it on my timeline, but as often as not I don't. Now there are a couple of points of view about about those people who tag you in images and in videos, etc., etc. I personally find it pretty annoying if there's someone I don't know who just randomly tags me. However, the point was made that if you have that enabled so that it's not showing up on your timeline, it's still showing up in other places. And if you comment on it, that your name and your comment will follow it around the internet or follow it around Facebook. There's something to be said that for that. There are a couple of tagged pieces that I'm allowing to stay there for that very reason. And so, again, it's a double-edged sword. You have to sort of think about your strategy. The other thing is who can see what others post on your timeline. I have that right now set to friends except acquaintances, and the reason for that is that I went through my list of friends and moved a whole bunch of them over into acquaintances, and those are people that I don't interact with on a regular basis, but who I will occasionally want to include in a post. But in general, I don't want everybody who comes to my timeline to see what my friends post, because I've noticed that with the spammers and hackers, for example, that a cluster of people will get the same message. And I believe that that's happening because they're seeing those names on somebody's timeline. So I'm setting it not totally closed, but a little bit closed. Okay. Oh, this one is a really interesting one. Actually, I should do that. This allows you to review what other people see on your timeline. And you can view as the public, or you can view as a specific person. So I could use a friend's name. No, I'm not going to do that. But it is something you could do. Right now, I can see what my timeline looks like as the public. I have a lot of my posts that are public because they're pretty general, but there are some that you're not going to be seeing if you're public. Now let's see how my photos show up. I set it so that the photos that I take, it's all right with me if people see them. One thing I did do recently though is I set my profile picture album so that this one that is my current profile picture can be seen by the public, but the others in that album are now only I can see those. And the reason for that is that one of the things that the spammers in particular and the scammers will do is they will choose a photo of you and they will use it to create a false or fake profile. And I figure if I can hide my profile pictures, that basically the approach I'm taking in setting my privacy and my settings is to provide a footprint that is not as large, because I figure that people who are going to be hacking, especially the ones that send out messages that have the goal of hacking somebody's hard drive, they will most likely choose someone who obviously has a lot of friends. See, right now, as public, I'm not seeing my friends. It doesn't show you how many friends I have. And that's a good thing because, if I were someone who was looking for a profile to hack, for example, I would probably be looking for someone who has a lot of friends, because my goal in doing the hacking is to send spam to all of that person's friends. So by hiding my friends, I'm protecting them. And again, it's a double-edged sword. It really is. Uh, yeah, it is. So I also have my about set quite tight now. All a person who comes in as the public is going to see that I am an entrepreneur and I use Twitter. And then they're going to see some of my like generic photos that I've posted on my timeline. But they're not going to see a lot of pictures of my friends. And they're not going to see a lot of pictures of me. Not until they become a friend. And that's really sad, in my opinion, but I also believe it's the way it needs to be. So I'm going to go back to viewing it as myself. So we also want to, okay, those were the timeline settings. I believe I finished all of those, but let me just see. Actually, that gives us access to some of the other more advanced settings. So let's keep on from there. So that was it. Review what other people see on your timeline. That's how you do it right there. Who can see posts you've been tagged in on your timeline. I set it as friends except acquaintances. Who can see what others post on your timeline? The same thing. I may change that. No, I actually like that because the people at this point, the people that I have as friends who are not acquaintances are people that I generally trust. The acquaintances are people that I don't trust as much. So right now, the people who are friends but are acquaintances are not going to see what my friends post on my timeline. And that's okay with me because I can always move someone out of the acquaintances category. Tagging. Oops, do I want to review tags? Yes, again, this is the same thing as up here. Posts that people tag me in. This is the same setting basically, and I have that one enabled. So that means that anytime you tag me, I get to decide whether I'm going to let that be on my timeline or what I'm going to do with it. The other question here is, when you're tagged in a post, who do you want to add to the audience if they aren't already in it? And I'm going to set that one as only me. And who sees tag suggestions when photos that look like me are uploaded? No one. Again, it's a social media, and ideally, in the best of all possible worlds, I'd like to leave it out there so my friends can tag me in pictures that they see. But honestly, at this point, I think it's probably wiser to be a little more careful. So I'm going to go over here to General. I can edit my name here. I can edit my username here. I can edit my primary email. And what I can do is I can decide, I can let, if someone sends me an email within Facebook, I may change that actually, because at this point what happens is if someone sends me an email within Facebook, that email goes to my primary email. And I've unchecked allow friends to include my email address and download your information. So that's one I may change. I may have it so that I'm not getting a message telling me that someone sent me an email on Facebook. I think I probably don't want to know that. Here's where you can update your password and your language. Now we're moving on to security, and security is really important. These are some settings that I think that anyone who has any concern about their account being hacked should know about. First of all, we get login notifications, so that anytime someone uses a device that I haven't used before, that includes me, then I will get a text message telling me that someone has logged in a different browser or a different device. The other thing is login approvals requiring a security code to access my account from unknown browsers. I think that's so important. And basically what happens is, and I have it set that way, and it's to be real honest with you, it's a bit of a pain. It really is. Like, who needs to do that? But I do think it's important. So what happens is when I or anyone logs into my account from somewhere else, they are going to be required to have a security code. That security code is generated by Facebook and sent to my phone. So in order for someone to get into my account, even if they have my password, they will also have to have my phone. It's a lot of work, for someone to do and this is how you can enable your code generator here. I haven't done this, or have I? Oh, did I do this? You can you can set a password for every time you use your apps. So that's a third level of security. And I believe I did do this. It's not showing up here, but I believe I did. And the other one is trusted contacts. I'm not going to open this because the names of my trusted contacts are there. And honestly, I don't need you to see those. But they do recommend having 2 or 3 friends on Facebook who you can call to help you get back into your account if you get locked out. And the way you would get locked out is if someone has hacked your account and changed your password before you figured out that that's what's happening. And so then your friends can verify for you and can generate a security code. And then your trusted browsers, you want to go in here and set the browsers that you use, perhaps your smartphone, perhaps a tablet, perhaps somewhere else that you use on a frequent basis. You want to include those. And where you're logged in currently, right here, right now I'm logged in on Chrome, and that's actually where I'm logged in. And basically you want to go in there occasionally and check to make sure that there isn't some device that you're not familiar with that has ended up using your password or getting into your account. If so, then what you want to do is you want to click right here on End All Activity in relation to that browser. Important settings, really, 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 really important settings. Now, timeline and tagging, basically these were the same settings that we looked at before, so we don't need to change that. Blocking is a really important one here. This is my list of blocked users. It's fairly extensive by now. It's also where you can, if you're getting a lot of app invites from particular people. Now, this is something I did not realize until recently. If someone sends you one app invite, Facebook will continue to automatically send you app invites, game invites from the same people. And keep in mind that games and apps are among the most common ways in which hackers get into people's Facebook accounts. So I'm real careful about the apps I use, although I have quite a few of them and need to clean them out. But if there's somebody that you're getting a lot of those requests from, you can just block that. And you're not blocking them, you're just simply blocking those requests. Same thing with events, and the same thing with the apps themselves. I have quite a few apps that I've blocked because I'm really not interested in playing the games. You can also block pages here. So far I have not blocked any pages. I could foresee the possibility of doing it at some point, but not now. Notifications. I have push notifications open for some that come from directly from the applications, and that can be set within the application. I get notified about activity that involves you. Also close friend activities. I have birthdays on, life events off. And also I have most of the apps that I actually use, I have it on requests and activities on. Oh, well, right now I don't want it activated for, no, I really don't. I don't want it activated for text messaging. Mm-mm. And I do have it set so that everyone can follow me. Again, I am a marketer. I do want people to be able to follow me if, for example, if I'm in Facebook jail. But I do wish that Facebook would allow me to selectively choose who follows me. I have it set that friends can comment on my public posts, but not followers. I get notification every time someone follows me, and my username is here. And I do have my profile linked to Twitter. And again, they give you the option of looking at your public timeline so you can see what your followers will see. We've already gone through the blocking of apps. I don't think I need to go into this, or ads or payments. Perhaps the support dashboard. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one, because anytime you report someone, they tell you what action happened. Sometimes they'll remove a photo, sometimes they won't. We can go back to photos, back to my home, and photos. It used to be that you could choose a whole album and set the settings for that whole album. Let me see. Let's try the cover photos one and see what happens. It used to be that you could set it, manage that. And I know that some of my albums are still that way, and I've actually moved some of my pictures to the albums that I have set where the whole album is only me. But actually at this point, well, let me show you what you have to do now. Let's say I decide that I want this one to be only visible by me. You click here on Edit, and then you choose. I'm going to say I just want friends except acquaintances to see this one. And then you're done editing. Now you have to do it picture by picture, which is a hassle, and it takes a while, which is why I chose to move some of my images that I just didn't want to share publicly over into an album that already had that setting. But the way things are now, you'll probably have to go in album by album, picture by picture, and decide what the settings are going to be. It's kind of a hassle, I know. I really wish that they had left it the way it was, but they didn't, so we live with it.